everybody. Welcome back to the Beer Ladies podcast. I am your host today, Tandy, and I am joined by my friends Katie, Bean, and Carolyn. And they're going to wave to the cameras and say hello and do all the lovely things.
Hi.
Wonderful. Now, today we have a little bit more of a casual episode today. We're not going to be talking about any styles or any ingredients or chatting to anybody in the beer industry besides us. But we did want to honor and celebrate the beginnings or middle of spring and the entrance of summer into our lives. It's one of those things. I think it's felt like a perpetual winter in a way, because we've had COVID for so fucking long that it feels like we're finally entering a new age, right? We're going to go into spring and summer, and we're also slowly easing out of lockdown. So today we just want to have a bit of fun. We want to talk about the kinds of beers that we like to drink during spring and summer. We'll reminisce about some memories from summers and springs before, and we'll just see what everyone's drinking. But before that, let me just remind you, and first thank you for liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel, guys. We're over 100 subscribers, which is awesome. And please continue to do it, because it's just fabulous and we always want to grow. And it was such a lovely surprise. I think it was Thursday or Friday last that we got the news, and that was really, really fun. So thank you for that. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on the podcast platform. So that could be your Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, even Stitcher and all of those. And keep subscribing on the YouTubes and follow us on all the social medias. So we're at Beer Ladies Podcast everywhere except for Twitter. We're Beer Ladies Pod, and our website is almost up to date, so that would be beerladiespodcast.com. Fabulous. Okay, so ladies, in the spirit of summer and spring and all things a little bit less dark and dreary, what are we drinking? So Carolyn, all the way in Texas, what are you drinking, my friend?
I am drinking High Sign Brewing out of Austin. It's a Mexican lager. It's called Alberto, and it's good. It's a great Mexican lager for the summer.
It's a very cute can.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a gray-haired man with his dog. It's lovely.
Yes. With a cerveza.
Do you think it's like a little bit? Do you think it's a little obvious that it's called Alberto, as in the name Alberto? And it's a guy on the can.
Well, it's more L. So is that not the? I don't know Spanish.
I don't know. I think that's meant to be the pun, the play on words.
Yeah.
There, Okay. So Mexican lager, that's really cool. Okay, love it.
Good.
Bean.
It's crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, lo siento, I can't help you with that one, but I can help you go to all the hops of all the places with. I wanted to try Flora and Fauna from Western Herd.
That sounds like a very springy beer, and for those watching, it's got the most beautiful floral, almost botanical themed can art. It's really pretty. Flora and Fauna by Western Herd.
Pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Dot Brews Maui double dry hop saison, just to bring all of the double dry hopping after really enjoying the whole IPAs episode, which was our one just before this. And we're like, double dry hop. If I see one more can with double dry hop. So here's one to take you to Maui with, so it's 6%. It's got Nelson Sauvin, Rakua, and Motueka.
Motueka, yeah.
And then
those
are
all like New Zealand hops, so that's why it's called Maui. I'd say
it's very island. Oh goodness. Okay, well that just happened, so I guess that's staying in. And then the Western Herd one has got Columbus, Simcoe, Eldorado, Chinook, Citra, Centennial, Amarillo, Cascade, and then we double dry hopped it heavily with Nelson Sauvin and Strata. And Strata's a lovely beer, or a lovely hop, but it's got some funk, and it definitely smells funky. Like maybe if you were at a concert in the summer and you sort of smelled
like grass.
Like, yes, that's what I'm trying to say without saying it.
But that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing to have things smell grassy. That means sometimes it means that they've left the hops in for too long, and instead of getting like the oils that give you the aromas and the flavors and the bitterness and whatever, it just gives you like plant.
But it's so beautiful. And okay, there might be a few extra hops in here, but the intention was to honor and love it,
But
because I
it
kind
could
of don't
be-
mind.
Okay,
I'm kind of into it.
but it could also just be like dank or piney, which is a different kind of profile, which is also planty, pine needles, almost like resiny, weird flavors, and that's often present in IPAs, but it's not the same as grassiness. I'm keen to try that now. Maybe just to
I think
maybe
you
just
might.
to try
I
and
think
try and
I
sort it
think
out in
they'd
my own
better
head.
do it again, and
Oh,
we're
right.
gonna all have to have a tasting, and you'll tell me what I'm tasting so that I know, so that I know what this funk is that I'm loving.
Well,
Maybe it's the whole houseys thing. Maybe it's a few extra hops, because there's like 10 hops in here,
Mm.
which is madness.
yeah, that is crazy. Okay, well, let's see what
Madness.
Katie's up to. Katie, what
Let's
are you
see.
drinking?
Katie, well, I can't wait to try the Flora and Fauna, by the way. I haven't got my hands on it, so I'll be keeping an eye out. I think it's sold out in most places, so I'm hoping. You brew it again. Come
Brew it
on,
again.
Maeve and Bridger. Come on. So I am drinking an 8 Degrees, 8 Degree Brewing Bohemian Lager, Pilsner Lager. Perfect
Mhm.
summer beer, 4%. You could knock a load of these back in the park, throw them into your big bag of cans, and really, really enjoy them. And it's a nice color. It's a light.
Oh yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
Mm.
It's Pilsner Lager. It's lovely.
I feel like at
There's
one
actually a little.
Mm.
There is a little bit of wheat in it. I was just checking the ingredients as well, but it doesn't seem to be that hazy. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
there you go.
It's so
Very
strange.
clear.
I saw
Yeah.
I like
on,
8 Degrees. Very
mm,
yummy.
I saw on Metalman's website earlier that they also do a hoppy wheat lager, and I thought that's interesting because I don't think I've ever really had wheat in a lager. I could be wrong now.
I have one of those in my fridge right now, and I was at Indie Beer Week on Thursday night, and Dead Center Brewing had across the pond is their American wheat ale.
Mm.
So that's a wheat lager, I suppose.
No, but it wouldn't be a lager if it's an American wheat, because that's
Oh,
an
is it not?
ale. That's
Okay.
an ale. Yeah. So that's why it's strange, because lagers. You guys, I could be so ignorant here, but I just haven't seen wheat in a lager really. That I'm
It
just
could
trying to think of
be
it.
like people crossing the streams and doing something
Exactly.
new.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm thinking maybe it's starting to happen a little bit more. So in that 8 Degrees and maybe in the Metalman, maybe people are experimenting with it. And maybe because we've been drinking New England IPAs and all of these other hazy beers, like we wouldn't really question a hazy lager. Why not, right?
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds interesting anyway. Like Katie, I'd like to hear your thoughts when you've had that Metalman.
Well, I might come and bring it to Cans in the Park, and we can
Yeah.
share it
Nice.
from separate glasses, of course. No spreading of the germs or the virus.
Indeed.
On a table far away.
So today I've got a beer that probably maybe I wouldn't have chosen, but because it seems like a really springy, summery beer, and that's probably why they've released it. But I've got a Takes Two to Mango by Wicklow Wolf and Otterbank. So it's a collab.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a
Rockin'.
collab between them, and it's a mango and peach sour.
Interesting.
Very unusual for me to go buying a sour now.
Do Otterbank do just sours, or do they do other beers as well? Is that their main thing?
I think
Is that
that's
their jam?
I think that is their jam. I don't think it's just
Hmm.
sours. I think it's wild fermentation.
Ah, okay. So like Two Sides?
Yes. Is it Two Sides that do wild fermentation?
Yeah.
sides
No, it's
are-
Wide Street. Wide
Oh,
Street.
Wide
Yes.
Street.
That's
Sorry,
it.
they
Two
have a beer
Sides
called
is-
Two Sides.
Yes, yeah, Wide Street. Yeah, they
Yeah.
also do wild fermentation and spontaneous fermentation, and I think Otterbank do as well, because I had that Brett ale in our sours episode from Otterbank, and that was also a raw ale, so it wasn't boiled, which is
Hmm.
really interesting. And so I think that that's Otterbank's vibe, is that they're playing with the kind of funkier, sourer, wild things. So it's cool to see them blending with Wicklow Wolf. Wicklow Wolf is he's kind of a much bigger player here in Ireland. They're almost very mainstream now. So it's nice to see them toying and playing with smaller breweries. Good for them. And actually, this beer is quite nice. For me, it's not as sour as I maybe thought it was at all, but I definitely get mango. Definitely. So that's interesting. Nice light summery
Nice.
kind of thing. So Katie, before we all started pressing record, you mentioned that you have records, let's say, of the beer that you've had in the most eastern part of the world and the most western part of the world. Tell us all about the story.
Well, this is where I have physically been in the place and drank the beer. So my most westerly beer is Kona,
Okay, where
which
are
are
they based?
Hawaiian.
Oh, cool.
And I've had them on Hawaii, the Big Island. I went to their brew pub there, and they have lovely beers. You can get this quite easily in Ireland, I think, is that they do their longboard and their fire something or other. Can't remember. IPAs and lagers. And I recommend a trip to Hawaii. It's great
wow.
fun.
I mean,
So I got my glass in their brew pub, and it was
Nice.
it's really, really nice. It's always really, really nice. And then my furthest east is is Taiba beer, and it
Okay.
is they say that they are the finest in the Middle East. So this is a Palestinian brewery that I went to an Oktoberfest in one year. It's run by Christian Arabs, so I suppose the majority of the Arab population in Palestine would not drink alcohol, or depending on how
Publicly.
religious they are.
Yeah.
But so every year we got the bus from Jerusalem to Ramallah, and then we got this like tiny little mini bus from Ramallah to Tabe. Yeah, I was pronouncing it wrong. I was saying Tabe, and then I was asking people for directions and where's the bus to Tabe, and they were like, "Oh, you mean Taba?" So I'm like, "It's Taba." And we went to the Oktoberfest. They had food stands, they had all the beers, they had entertainment for the kids. It was a real lovely family festival, and so that was my most easterly pint.
That's fabulous
In the
that you've
pipeline, 'cause I
actually been there.
Yeah, because I haven't been to Australia or New Zealand or done Thailand or any of that yet. So
That's really, really cool. Bean, do you have any travel stories or beers that you are memorable because of where you were drinking them?
So I suppose Granville Island Brewing in Vancouver that you talked about one time.
I did.
It was their winter ale. That brewery is fabulous, and it's nice to go to Vancouver Island, and so I've had the chance to go there, and that is great, and gives Granville Island all the time. And I want to go to Spinnaker's or whatever too, but haven't made it there yet. And I quickly had to like change my answer to, oh well, I've been to a Mikkeller bar, or Munich maybe at Oktoberfest in the Polliner tent.
Yep.
But yeah, here's to going to Maui in a can.
yeah.
And we're a little bit late for wishing an Eid Mubarak to everybody, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What the heck? Happy
Eid
fasting
Mubarak.
being over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Carolyn, what is your favorite like travel beer been to date?
I guess going to Oktoberfest, that was like fun. I mean, that's always fun. Or going to Prague and drinking like their local beers. I guess it's like the most Eastern Europe I've been. Well, I guess Ukraine, but I don't remember if I drank beer in Ukraine or not. But I do remember Prague and Oktoberfest. So those were good beers.
And how is Texas this time of year? Like, what does spring and summertime look like in Texas?
Hot. 90 degree Fahrenheit. So what is that?
Don't you bring that here.
You and imperial units of measurement.
I have to convert what it would be. Let's see. Hold on. If
Like 30s,
yeah, like
Okay.
like
yeah,
lowish 30s.
low
or-
30s is the
Low
hottest
30s
it
in
gets.
spring?
No, high 20s in spring.
Okay.
Low
wish-
30s in like August, September. So we realized that we do a lot of stuff outside here because it was raining one day and we were like, what do we do?
Mm.
We can't do anything outside because it's raining. And we're like, God, we're one of those places that does everything outside. You go to a brewery, you sit outside because it's a nice day.
That sounds just like South Africa. And actually, it was one of the biggest adjustments coming here was like doing a lot of stuff indoors. Like, I mean, at my old house in South Africa, I didn't ever used to sit inside, like in the living room. It was just never used. Like maybe if we were going to watch a movie, but it was actually like on the patio. We had like a patio lounge suite, you know, in a sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was just that's where you lived, and it stayed out there all the time, and it was covered, so it didn't get rained on. And I mean, that's where I would always be, like just always outside. So it's a big change.
Yeah, Irish weather has not got the memo yet that it's summer.
No,
They've missed it.
guys, but don't you know that we have become the prediction podcast? So this is why we're doing a spring and summer episode, because so
I
for
actually,
the
I saw a really, really good skit on Twitter of somebody who was doing, you know, your workplace review at
Mm.
the end of the year, and I was like, sunny days. What have you been doing? It's like you're scheduled on, and then you just disappear, and scattered showers has to cover your shift for you. You know, and I'm like, that is so good.
That sounds so good. So
Yeah.
for those who don't spend their lives on Twitter, it's becoming a bit of a meme now that whenever we talk about some kind of beer style, suddenly brewers in Ireland have actually already been brewing them, and they just release them the week after we've recorded, which is really, really very funny. So we've spoken about dark lagers, and then all of a sudden we've had like a few dark lagers popping up. We've spoken about wheat beers, and those came up. We've been speaking about we've mentioned in other episodes things like amber ales, and then there were more all of a sudden. So it's really becoming quite funny. So that's it, guys. We are the Beer Ladies Clairvoyant podcast now, and that's what we're doing. So let's use our power for good. channel some heat and some sun into Ireland, please.
If we could
Yeah.
get above 20 degrees, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was pretty gorgeous yesterday between
Yeah.
all the rain.
I did have outdoor pints in plastic takeaway glasses
Yeah,
with some of our fellow beer ladies yesterday in town. It was amazing.
gorgeous. Oh,
So jealous.
yeah. Well, we'll let you know if we see our shadow, and it's going to be a glorious summer. It will be. It will be.
Oh, I think so as well. So speaking of Twitter, we asked on Twitter, we asked the followers of our Twitter profile, what styles people like to drink during spring and summer, or whether indeed they even like to drink seasonally at all. So we got a good few responses, and for the most part, people tended to go for lighter beers. So things like Weiss, Wit, sours, lagers, pilsners, saisons. Those seem to be the ones that people mentioned the most. So I'm interested now to know from all of you, do you think you drink seasonally? And yeah, what does it look like to you? So Bean, let's start with you. What's your take on this?
Yeah, totally. Every season is different. Sometimes every week of the month is a bit different. I know that I'm really looking forward to some hops being grown in Ireland. And so when there's fresh hop at the end of summer season, I'm really looking forward to something like Wicklow Wolf, Locavore Project, or social hops used to be a thing where people would grow a little bit of hops. And then the idea was you'd all harvest your hops at the same time. And somebody like maybe Wicklow Wolf or somebody would take them, make a fresh hop beer, and then you would all kind of get a bit once it was brewed.
Yeah, Rascals do that because I have
Mm,
hops
yes,
growing
yes,
out my
yes,
back
that's
as
what I'm
part of
talking.
social hops.
Woo!
But I've never had a good harvest, and now I'm thinking, I bet you they're male, whatever rhizomes I got, because I just don't get hops, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, that's yeah. sometimes plants are monoecious or dioecious, or they don't have the male and the female on the same plant, and you need balance. You need the yin, you need the yang, you need both hops to.
Yeah.
Do you? I don't know. Wish I would have looked this up. I'll look it up for hops episode if we.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So apparently the female hop plant is the one that will bear
Yes.
Bear the cones.
cones.
Yes, absolutely. You don't want the male. You don't want the males at all. Yeah,
Oh, it's like holly.
which is terrible. You know,
Holly is
how
like
rude.
that. Like the berries are on the female tree,
Ah,
and the male hollies are just not the beautiful birds of that species.
Interesting. Okay.
Thank goodness for birds, anyway.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, Bean, if you had to say typically now within this kind of season, you've got an IPA and you've got a saison there. So, if you're to say which one you're more in the mood for, just as it stands, you know, like what's your vibe?
Ooh, both. Both, but never mind the bread, if you please, in the words of Winnie the Pooh. I'm loving the whole Maui thing, but actually, do you know what? I'm really loving this 10 hop
Flora and fauna.
flora and fauna. It's madness. It's really good. I'm loving it. Both, please, but never mind the bread.
Fair enough.
have you got 2 glasses on the go at the same time?
I really do. I am. Yep. This is this is better than Edward 40 Hands, though. This is being 2 beautiful art cans, and 2 really good. They complement each other, and I was not planning that. I did not do extensive testing, but I'm telling you, under the tomatoes, it's the place to be. Both,
That sounds
both,
good.
please.
Katie, what about you? Do you drink seasonally, or do you find yourself doing it?
Well, I find that I like to, if breweries are bringing out a seasonal beer, I like to try it, and they tend to bring out lighter beers in the summer and darker beers in the winter. So you kind of follow that pattern.
Mm.
All year round, though, I like lagers and IPAs all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Porters and stouts. I'm not the biggest fan. Like I like stuff with coffee in it. I know
Mm-hmm.
some people hate coffee in their stouts and porters, but I think it's really nice. I'm not a sour fan. I just can't palate. My palate does not enjoy the sour taste. It's like I don't eat fizzy cola bottles. I don't, I just don't do it. I can't do it.
So so sour sweets and stuff, you just don't even
No,
like this, really? And
I
what
don't
do you
even like
feel?
salt and vinegar. I don't like fermented stuff. I don't like kimchi.
You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me.
This is my Irish palate. I was brought up on potatoes,
I was too, but your palate can change later on in life, it turns out.
I need to keep maybe having little sips, because my husband does drink sours. So I do have little sips, hoping that I'll like it, but it's just my face just crinkles up, and it's like, ugh, no, not for me.
We like what we like,
Exactly.
It happens. Okay, that's interesting. Carolyn, I mean, you're kind of the opposite. You'll go sours before anything else. So
Yeah, but I also enjoy a good lager. I mean, it's hot here in Texas, so like I'm not going to be drinking a stout in the middle of the summer. It's too hot for that. So you always want something light. So, and then I don't know, maybe I really drink sours and lagers all year round. I do like a good stout though, but yeah, I do drink seasonally. So for the most part, every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I just want a good lager. So depends.
I also find it depends. I think there's probably broad strokes, winter darker beers and summer lighter beers, but I don't know. It's not that black and white for me. I think that there's certain styles that you just drink all year round. Like I can drink saison all year round, even though it's typically kind of a late summer style anyway. But I love saisons; they're great. And lagers all year round, but maybe a dark lager versus a lawnmower styles kind of light lager. You get all the different kinds of things are nice. But stouts, stouts are a winter thing, I think, mostly.
I agree.
Except for Guinness, which can be drunk all year round. To be fair, like I don't know why they've made that beer so light but still tasty enough that you can just drink it. So good for them. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. That stuff goes down in like 5 sups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think it is better on draft than it is. And I can say for one, I'm looking forward to the pubs being back.
Oh my goodness. Yes, let's do this, guys. So we've now, let's say, sped up the kind of easing process of lockdown. So for those not in Ireland, we are almost one of the last countries to start really opening up a little bit. And we've only just opened up in the last couple of weeks. We've only just opened up our pubs for takeaway pints. We still can't sit at a pub, not outside or inside. And we can't go to a restaurant or anything like that. Now, I do believe that in I don't know if it's some cities or some provinces of Canada, but Canada, like my family in Ontario, are also in like level 5 lockdown still. It's just very, very strict there still. But for most of the rest of the world, my family in South Africa are just living life as if COVID didn't exist. I'm so bloody jealous, but
We are too.
yeah, exactly. So, so I do feel that this spring and summer just means a little more to us over in Ireland right now, because it's kind of coinciding with things, slowly going back to normal. And I swear we thought this last year too, but no, we were wrong. So anyway, what are we then looking forward to the most? I mean, I know we're all going to say seeing people and whatnot, but are there any specific kind of plans, or do you have any one thing that you are just, that's it, it'll make your year and you'll forget about COVID? Do you have anything like that? How about you, Katie?
How about me? I have to say, so my sister had twin boys February 2020, middle of February.
Oh.
And I saw them once for their christening last July, and I haven't seen them since.
Mm.
And that's it. So they are going to be, what, a year and a half by the time I know we can do intercounty travel at the moment, but I'm not going to really do it until I at least have one shot of the vaccine, probably. So I suppose I'm just looking forward to going down home to Clare and seeing everybody down there. I'm also looking forward to just sitting in a beer garden in the sun with friends, drinking a beer that doesn't come out of a can.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. And
It's
sitting
marvelous.
out, yeah, for me, having a meal somewhere and having someone wait on you, and you don't have to like order takeaway or cook it for a change.
Absolutely. Bean, you're looking as if you're dreaming of you're dreaming of things. Tell us your dreams.
I am absolutely dreaming of things. And actually we've probably gotten more takeaways than we ever did, and I'm looking forward to actually seasonal ingredients, because I've really gotten into like my farmers market now, and I appreciate them the more because there was a stoppage when we weren't quite sure what we were doing and we weren't quite sure what the rules were, and so the farmers market stopped, and now I'm going like every week because I really value it now. So I'm actually really excited to whatever's in season, that's what I'm cooking with, and also lots of takeaways.
I know. I think we decided at the start, it was like, oh, let's support all the local businesses that are shutting down. And then it would just became a thing that every week we got a takeaway.
This is it.
So not good.
Is it. Yeah. So we're just telling ourselves, oh, we're supporting our local businesses, but actually we're just getting takeaways and not cooking as much. But like not like every night or something. But yeah, probably once a week, I'd say. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out in the garden, in the fresh air with people occasionally, and valuing that more, because I don't know if you've heard, but people are kind of annoying. Actually.
So how are you going to temper
value that? Yeah, it's nice to really value that, actually. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn, when you got back to Texas now, did you, I mean, where possible, but did you go straight back into like just living as you would have normally, like right, people, like, or did you find it was a transition?
It was weird because like I mean, all my friends were in Austin and I was in Houston. So I was like, I know no one. So like but we go into restaurants, sit down. I mean, wear a mask in restaurants and then sit down at a table that was 6 feet apart. But it was like nice to like not have to cook food. And then like when I moved to Austin, like for example, like yesterday we went to wineries. There were a couple wineries there, like nobody was wearing a mask. And I was like, this is weird. And I went to a restaurant the other day this week and we like walked in with masks. I was like, nobody's wearing a mask. I was like, I guess I'll take mine off because like I'm vaccinated. Like, not saying vaccinating is the cure, but I was just like, well, if nobody's wearing one, I guess I'm not gonna wear one. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
very weird. And I was like, this is kind of nice not having to wear a mask and not making this controversial for people. But like, I don't know, it's just weird to like get a little bit of normacy back. And I was like, all right, well, hopefully we're back to this one day. But yeah, it's been interesting, especially now that like most Texans are vaccinated and people are kind of like going back to like living their life.
It really annoys
Weird.
me. It like annoys me on a personal level that the states were a dumpster truck at the beginning of this pandemic, and now the vaccine rollout has been phenomenally quick compared
Yeah.
to Europe. I mean, Europe has been shocking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're getting there
Yeah.
now, but it's taken a long time. I know some of my friends in the UK who are, let's say my age group, so 30s, right? They're maybe a little older than me, but not much. They've all had their vaccines. And I'm like, guys, come on. And we're still going to be only, I don't know, maybe September. I don't think it's going to come.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I'm traveling next week, so it's gonna be weird. Like last time I was
What
on
kind
a
of
plane.
luxury is this now?
Last time I was on a plane, I was moving home in the middle of a pandemic, and now I'm going on a plane to visit my friends. Like, how weird is that?
Oh my goodness. That, you see, that feels so foreign to me now. Like just the ability to go places.
Yeah, I like texted my friend. I was like, "Hey, I'm vaccinated. Like, I don't really want to do a 16-hour drive. Do you mind if I fly?" And she was like, "No, it's fine." I was like, "Okay."
And is your friend also vaccinated?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
I'm so jealous of you.
So yeah,
also
it'll
so
definitely be
jealous.
weird going to the airport, getting on a plane, sitting down.
I mean,
I mean,
flew-
they're still not doing like they're still passing out personal bags on planes. Like they're not stewardess aren't doing their normal like cart service, which is totally understandable. Like I don't mind you giving me a prepackaged bag. I actually think that's genius, and they should have always been doing that. Just saying. Like
So what do
snacks
you-
already in a bag when I get on the plane. Thank you.
What do you mean by a personal bag?
Yeah, so it's just like a snack and like a little bottle of water to like get you through until they come and like ask if you want like a soda or something. So I don't
That's
know.
brilliant.
I feel like they should have always done that. I feel like it's smart.
Yeah. Why did they need to take up the aisles with carts?
Well, I mean, they're still doing the carting stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's just nice to like have a little bag when you get on the plane and it's your snacks already
Oh, planes.
prepackaged.
We're lucky to be on planes. I'm actually surprised that we'll be vaccinated before September because I really thought it was going to be after back to school. Like I genuinely thought. And now, like, people have really been working to get this vaccine out. Like, it's really been a year and a bit, which is awesomely madness and great. And I thought it was going to be a lot longer. Really, I did.
True.
Yeah.
Like just to get a vaccine out. Yeah, absolutely. I
Unless-
actually thought that we'd almost get rid of the this is super naive, but like I almost thought we'd almost get rid of the virus by isolating. Like we'd almost reduce it to such a level that we didn't need a vaccine, because that seemed more likely because we were so isolated. But
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to have a vaccine, even if it's not in my system yet.
Yeah. And most of my friends are vaccinated, which is nice. So there you
That's
go.
really cool.
Hang out with y'all.
Okay.
Although I do think that Carolyn is going to have to hop on a plane at some stage because she's got all these concert tickets that are going to need to be fulfilled at some stage.
Exactly. I got one got moved to May and one got moved to June. And I was like, why could they not be right next to each other like they were this year? Damn it. I have to figure that out.
You know, we can just see you twice instead of once, and that'll be pretty
Exactly.
fun. We can,
Exactly.
you know,
Lots of
special-
shenanigans.
we'll do a special Beer Ladies recording like in person. Can you imagine?
There you go.
I
That'd be fun.
cannot. I cannot record without pajama bottoms now, you guys.
It's a requirement. We will all wear pajama bottoms.
Honestly, I don't
I'm
know. I mean, so am
That's what
I.
it's about.
So I mean, I am too. So like, that's what I'm saying. My mom would make fun of me when I worked from home when I moved back. And she's like, "You're dressed in a nice top, but then you're dressed in pajama bottoms." I'm like,
Yep,
Pretty
sounds legit. This is COVID fashion, guys. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
This is on the
I
top.
gotta be comfortable.
like I actually really hope that we don't go back to complete formal wear all the time. It would be, I mean, I think the teenagers and the students already were wearing tracksuit pants and whatever all the time, but I think we should just all embrace it. It's just
And flat
it's just all
shoes.
good.
Flat shoes.
I wasn't not doing that before.
Oh,
True. I wasn't not either. Like I was wearing flats anyway because fuck heels. Those
fuck,
things are
yeah. Oh my God, they kill
No.
you.
Torture
Terrible.
devices.
absolutely.
Unless you're having a lot of fun and practicing your balance on the cobblestones.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
like I already have
But
a
it's
broken
fun.
ankle, and
Not
that
for me, not
sounds
for
like,
me.
mm-mm.
Oh,
That sounds like a terrible way to break another ankle. Like no
Like
ways.
wearing a thick heel on the cobblestones, I ate it multiple. Like I didn't eat it, but like I've tripped multiple times, and now
In
it's
the
like
rain.
a booty. Like yeah, it's like a booty though. So I'm like, I'm fine, and then I hit something. I'm like, oh crap. There are plenty of times where I'm like looking behind my shoulder. I was like, did somebody see that? Will they laugh? Are they not gonna laugh? Are we good?
I was that person behind you in flats laughing at
That's totally fine.
However, I must speak on behalf of my friends who were loving wearing heels on the wet cobblestones and like really kind of killing it. And I don't know how, and I will never know how. But
No.
here's to you, ladies. Don't know what you were doing, but it looked great.
No, I don't understand. I don't understand heels, guys. I really don't. I mean, they look lovely, but mm-mm.
I suppose
I
I'm
get-
5'4", so I would wear them to try and gain a little bit of height. I think I wore them all the time up until I had my first child, and then it was like, oh God, no, I can't be doing this anymore.
your center of balance just
Threw
goes
your
straight
Chopins
off.
out the window.
Like it just doesn't work. I don't know what it is about being pregnant, but I also used to wear heels a lot before being pregnant,
Yeah.
and then after that, I just couldn't quite get it right.
No.
So I kind of gave up, or I started wearing only wedges and then only occasionally, right? Just like really
Yeah.
very occasionally. And now I think I've got 2 pairs of heels, and I've worn each pair once in my whole life owning them. You know, I've owned them for at least 4 years, so can't be asked.
Yeah, maybe we'll be 80 and be like, do you know what I'm gonna do today?
I'm going to break an ankle.
Yeah.
although you know, that being said, as much as I want to keep the pajamas and the comfy clothes, I think that when we finally do get out of lockdown, I think we're all going to be so enamored with like the novelty of being out with people and being able to dress up and feel like it's actually being dressed up instead of just, you know, putting a nice shirt on for a work call. Like, I don't know. I think so. We might just
Oh.
want to actually dress up a little bit more.
Because I met people for an outdoor pint yesterday, and I just wore my Play Yaya Ding Dong t-shirt. So
Yes. So great.
Oh, listen, Eurovision. So for those listening, this is the day after Eurovision, and I am already traumatized because Eurovision is over. Like, that's it. Is that my cat is in the background, isn't he? he's meowing at me to open the door for him. I really should just do that. Give me a second. It was my first Eurovision, as we all know, since there was an episode about it, and I was not disappointed. It was phenomenal, and Italy won, and their song was great. They're great. Oh, they did, and I mean, there were just so many good acts, though. Like, I really wanted Russia to win. Russian Woman was just my favorite. She was so good, but not quite enough on the night. Although, you know, anyway, that's
Yeah.
the way it goes. Yeah.
I was a big fan of, you know, like the kind of electro pop, the
Yeah.
Lithuania and Iceland. So,
Yeah.
and they did really well in the Ireland televote.
They did. I mean,
Mm.
Lithuania was fabulous. Iceland was fabulous, and Ukraine were amazing.
Yes.
I mean, they were so good. and they got the second highest televoter score overall. So, you know, that's it. They're going to just have to tour, you know.
They are. That song was just like being at a mad rave or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good. Gosh.
I'm gonna have to find it and watch it somewhere.
You know, Carolyn, I heard a rumor, but I don't know if it's true, but I heard that America is going to start doing their own version of Eurovision.
With
America
who?
Vision?
With just
Yeah.
America?
Yeah.
Amerivision.
So maybe
Like,
it's going
is
to be
it
like a
just the
statewide
US and
thing.
Canada, or is it gonna be like
I
South
don't
America
know.
as well?
I
I
reckon,
don't know.
what if it was all of the states?
Mhm. Exactly, having 50
That's
states.
50 states.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Exactly.
And then Canada could have like one entry, the 51st state, America's hat. Just like all of Canada, just send Celine Dion, but she's already in Vegas.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
damn.
Since Celine Dion, you're already gonna win. We know it.
She already did
I don't know. I
Eurovision
think,
too,
I
so
think for
like
Texas,
she's
it's probably do
Do you know
George
that was a
Strait.
great song actually, and she did a great job in her like 80s hair.
Yeah.
She was so
Yeah.
little that back then. Oh.
I'm trying to
what
think who would Texas pick. We got George Strait, Willie Nelson. I mean, 50 Cent just moved to Houston, so maybe he'd be a good option.
Well,
But we have
okay.
some options.
you have lots of options.
I feel like we'd have to pick Willie Nelson though, just because he's an icon. Like I feel like he would have to be the first one.
It's not guaranteed to win though. I mean, Flo Rida
It
came
does.
for
No,
San
I'm
Marino
not saying
and
he'd
didn't
win.
do
I'm
anything.
just saying, like, I feel like we'd have to pick like an icon
For the first one, for the
for
inaugural
the first one. Yeah.
Amerivisions.
Yeah.
Or like George Strait or someone. Like just the who knows?
So, Bean, I think you'll be proud of me, but one of my my solemn commitments this year is to grow some veggies, because
Oh, I will help you.
and you know, I've planted seeds. I bought planter boxes, and I've got little things that I'm germinating, and I've got bigger planter boxes for some of those that could be planted directly. And now I've got to keep kind of moving the planter boxes. I say I can't do a
Mhm.
damn thing because I'm on bloody crutches, but I've got to keep getting these planter boxes moved, thank you husband, into the sun. You know, it's got to follow the sun a little bit, which is very funny.
I
But
think A, Katie is going to be proud of you too. B, everybody else is going to be proud of you. 3. And C or D or whatever we're on. Actually, the best success I've usually seen is not people who like to just watch and read like me, but people who actually go out and do it.
fair
like,
enough.
You know, see what works and see what doesn't in
Gosh.
their actual planter boxes. So go you.
Yeah.
Well
gotta-
done you.
Well
and
done.
off you go.
Got to figure some things out, man. But we got some seeds and planted some things, and we checked on all the requirements and all the when to plant and when not to plant. Some of them, we got some like oriental greens, like salad leaves almost seeds, and they're already germinating. They're so quick, and then they grow so quickly, and they just kind of keep growing. So that I'm really excited for those. And that for me is another one of those very spring things that I've always got this itch that I need to make things grow in spring. I'm sure that's just part of life, but I just need to in spring.
Very healthy itch to scratch. And if you
Mm.
are a listener who has waited until nearly June to like take heart, because actually things germinate and grow so quickly, and they actually catch up to the stuff that people like maybe me have ill-advisedly had since it's like January in their windowsill, like struggling toward the light and getting really leggy and awful. And, you know, are just beginning to say, oh, well, I guess I'll grow. It's summer. Things that you seed now will actually just shoot out of the ground. So off you go.
Mhm. It'll be nice. I wish I had enough space to do the pumpkin seeds that I bought, but I just don't, because those take up an enormous amount of space. But it would be cool, because I mean, you know what, if like there are also things that you can brew with fun vegetables. So you can do beetroot in beer, like you can do beetroot ales. One of our friends, Kelly, does that, as well as one of my friends, Michelle. She makes a beetroot saison, which is phenomenal. So that would also be a really interesting spin, you know, like I've got some beetroot growing and I want to do pumpkins eventually when I've got space, maybe not right now, but yeah, could be fun. So not just eating, but brewing and fermenting and pickling and all the other things.
And Lochgill did their potato haze.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah.
had that.
Did you?
IPA.
It was perfectly drinkable and lovely, and it tasted good. I don't know if anything can taste like potato.
I didn't
I think it
get
tasted like beer. It was good beer, but I don't
Yeah.
know if I could quite make like potato.
if I had tasted that and hadn't known that there was potato in it, it would not have crossed my mind.
Yeah, I would say it was power of suggestion more than
Yeah.
anything that made me taste potato, because I actually just
But
tasted beer, but it was fine. It was good.
But that must be a thing. Like, I mean, how much would potato really add unless you added a lot of potato? Because I mean, okay, it's still sugars, as in the yeast is going to eat it, but it doesn't leave that much behind necessarily flavor-wise, surely. I don't know. I've never done
And
it.
if it did, that might not be a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, really.
I don't think it's doing the like any favors though to the to like the image of beer, which is, you know, oh, you drink one beer, you're having like 4 slices of bread, or, you know, as in very carby, very starchy. You know, people
Oh.
used to just always like hate on it because of that. So putting putting extra starch, like an extra starchy thing into a beer, for me feels like the wrong image. Even
not
though we
su-
all know that actually the grains are the same thing.
Do you know, I think if I actually ate more potatoes, I'd be doing better, because they have more like
S-
minerals and stuff
Good
than you
stuff.
think.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
actually.
they are basically
lot-
perfect food.
Lots of vitamin C in your potatoes.
There's,
Yeah, they
there's
have
been
more stuff than you think. You think they're just a starch, but actually they're,
Mm.
especially if they're grown in like good tandy window boxes, then they're good for you.
Yeah, there's been a few beers released lately, well, 1 or 2 here. Like there's been a beer, I think by Northern Monk or Omnipollo, one of those very expensive, very experimental brewers. It was like a Tato's chip beer, and I was like, what is going on with that? But it wasn't the only one. There was almost 2 or 3 beers in close succession that were potato chip based, and I was like, guys, like what is this?
Everybody
Why?
had the same idea on a Zoom call or something one night. So one of the beer
It
ladies
must
must
have
have
been.
said, hey, what if we took chips and made beer?
It just reminds me of those you know, those things where kind of futuristic ideas where you could, like, you know, have a bite of some bland square thing and it tastes like whatever you want in your mouth, like almost Willy Wonka style. So here's your roast chicken, gravy, potatoes, whatever, and it's as if people just want to make beer taste like food all the time.
Well, this
which is
is
so weird.
sometimes my issue with potato crisps as well, or chips,
Interesting.
is that we sometimes get a little carried away and Pringlesify the whole lot, when actually it's great with just some salt.
Okay, salt
a
and
few-
vinegar.
No vinegar.
See, not
No vinegar.
She only wants pepper, or maybe some chilies, or
Katie,
Cheese
what-
and onion.
Cheese
Cheese
and
and
onion.
onion.
Oh,
Well,
cheese and
ketchup
onions,
chips.
good.
They're good. The
So you see-
national.
look at
See, Bean, I think you might be outnumbered on this one.
texture only, the ripple chip with salt and pepper. Yeah, no, I'll eat ketchup chips. I'll eat vinegar. I like pickled things. I like all the things. I don't think there's too many things I don't like eventually.
Mm,
It takes time sometimes.
I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, ladies, I think that we're going to wrap up. Are there any final thoughts that we want to get out? Any burning predictions for spring and summer? Any things that we want to will into existence based on our Beer Ladies Clairvoyance podcast power?
Well, we've already willed lots of wit, so maybe some Hefeweizen as well
Mm,
would be nice. Come on.
they're
Bring
quick
it
to
on.
ferment, guys. Get some Weiss out. Come
Yeah.
on, let's do it. Nice, interesting ones too. Yeah, be in any styles that you would particularly like for the Irish breweries to focus on.
No, go on. You're making great things. I'm drinking them. I'm loving them. Just
Nice.
carry on. Carry
Nice.
on, folks.
Well, I want more saisons, so I'll just say it. I want more saisons. Come on, guys, let's have a few more. We don't need them full market saturated, just a few more, and nice funky ones, not, you know, not safe ones. Come on. Carolyn, what are you looking forward to? Is there anything happening out there that you're specifically
Not-
enjoying and looking forward to?
Not that she got good Mexican lager for the summertime. I tried one at a craft beer pub and he was like, "You're gonna like this one." And it was a very refreshing cerveza with lime in it. So it was really good. So I'm looking forward to drinking more of that because it was delicious.
That sounds awesome. It actually just reminded me there's a beer that I really need to get my hands on eventually. When it comes to my O'Brien's, I will get it. But I think it's a Rascals actually. It's their rice baby. It's a rice lager with lemon and lime, which I thought is an interesting choice. Like I don't think you really need the lemon and lime, but I like rice lagers, so I'm keen. I'm going to try it, and that for me seems like the perfect beer to sit outside and have a few of them, because I don't know what it is about rice. I think it makes it slightly drier. I don't know what it adds, but it's just superb. I like rice in a beer, so looking forward to that one very specifically. But okay, yeah. All right, friends, fam, everybody, thank you for listening to the Beer Ladies podcast. And friends, thank you for being here to chat summer and spring and beer and optimism and things today. For those at home, please don't forget to go and like and subscribe and follow and share and review and all of those things. It really does make a difference, and we'd love it if you would. So please go and do that. And otherwise, we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.